everyone! Today we will present you the book by David Li, China's Worldview, which discusses China's presence in the world, how the world views it, and how China's stance raises some tensions and concerns.
The main point that the author tries to get across is that the rise of the China is good for the world.
Instead of a threat, it is a way for global cooperation. The first introduction to leaders of China in this book focuses on China's position as the world's second largest economy. It shares the anxieties it generates globally, especially in the West. David Li explains why China's rise is perceived as disruptive. He introduces key themes of misunderstanding. That is, the assumption that economic growth must align with liberal democracy. By pointing out these concerns, the author establishes the need for a clearer, more nuanced understanding of China's rise. The main reasons for Western concerns are the focus on China's non-Western and non-traditional governance model, its vast population, and its rapid technological and economical advancements, as well as its market-driven economy, combined with state control and long-term governance strategies, make it a distinct case. However, the author insists that these concerns are unfounded because China prioritizes domestic affairs and earning respect over global issues and tangible interests, later in the book introducing the concept finish homework before going to parties. After the economic side, the stress on history is placed. The main focus is on the way China's historical experiences shape its worldview, governance, and policies. It becomes clear that China's worldview is deeply shaped by its historical experiences, particularly the Century of Humiliation, which explains China's focus on sovereignty, national dignity, and avoiding dependency on foreign powers. The author brings up how Chinese leaders like Mao Zedong and Deng Xiaoping drew lessons from historical episodes to help them act in certain situations and help avoid similar vulnerabilities in the future. As recent events, China's eagerness to reunify Hong Kong and Taiwan is framed as efforts to close historical wounds from colonialism and imperialism. To understand China's policies and aspirations, we must view them through the lens of history. By doing so, the author highlights that many of China's actions, such as its territorial claims and assertive foreign policy, are rooted in historical past rather than expansionist ambitions of the rising power. Talking about the Chinese Communist Party, the author rightly said that it's a product of Chinese history and it's arguably the most important key to understanding today's China. The Chinese Communist Party is a pragmatic and adaptive organization, ensuring China's stability and growth. Its ability to evolve and learn from past mistakes, like the Great Leap Forward and Cultural Revolution, are seen as a key strength. The CCP's governing philosophy evolved to the modern socialism with Chinese characteristics, the blend of ideological and pragmatic governance. Nowadays, the party is involved in every aspect of Chinese society. It acts as both a political party and an administrative institution, providing control over the government, military, and economy. The party's centralized control often draws criticism from the West, but the author states that its effectiveness in managing economic growth and social stability is a core part of its legitimacy. The CCP diverged from the USSR's perspective of communism. It proved on its own example that the ideology can exist and thrive in the modern world.
Local officials act like parent officials to the citizens as they are responsible for managing issues on the local level, such as guiding operations in school or building new roads. They also make sure to prevent protests and inner conflicts. Most importantly, these are the people who take the most of the blame. To avoid nepotism and clientelism, local leaders are appointed to areas different from their homeland. Author also describes local leaders as CEOs because a significant part of their work is to navigate the interests of business so as to enhance economic development of their region. The author asserts that China initially demonstrated a low level of corruption due to relatively well-paid government jobs. However, with the Xi Jinping ascension to power, a serious anti-corruption campaign was launched. The two main forms of corruption are economic and political. The first type is connected with the businesses trying to avoid and bypass some government-imposed regulations. The second type is mostly about gaining offices in an illegal way in order to wield authority and power. Xi Jinping's aggressive anti-corruption campaign has been showing some results, but harsh actions of anti-corruption agencies make officials even more hesitant and passive, as they are afraid that they could be prosecuted for the violation they had done unintentionally. This in turn slows down the state's development. Moreover, there is the question of these anti-corruption agencies' accountability and credibility, because it is hard to check if their actions are objective or rather arbitrary. The Chinese government is considered to be highly intervening in the economy. Author's main thesis on the issue is that on the one hand, this form of operating economy stems from history and is dictated by socialist tradition of the state-run economy. On the other hand, he explains it as a Confucianism idea of the all-responsible government. The major areas of governmental interventions are prices of socially sensitive goods and services, tuition for executive MBA programs, large investment product and product standards. In addition, the Chinese government will control over the property market and stock prices. Author asserts that although the intervention is beneficial in terms of preventing major economic crises, the high level of governmental control impedes the development of the individual industries and slows down the economic growth.
Author shifts focus to China's education system. He positions it as a cornerstone of the nation's social and economic fabric. Education in China has undergone significant reforms, which are aimed at expanding access and improving overall quality. In this chapter, author delves into the pressure of the Gaokao, or national college entrance exams, which are both a gateway to upward mobility and a source of immense societal stress. According to the author, such system has its strengths and challenges. On the strength side, there are the fact that it's meritocratic, which allows even rural students to climb the social ladder. It also establishes discipline, a deep respect for knowledge and collective values. And the last one is education reforms have expanded access, which ensures that more citizens benefit from modern schooling. On the challenges side, there are the exam-centric focus can stifle the creativity and critical thinking. Students also face immense stress due to societal and familial expectations tied to academic performance. And the last one is inequalities in resources between urban and rural schools that exacerbate disparities in outcomes. Author concludes that if China wishes to lead globally, it must balance discipline with innovation, ensuring its students are prepared for an ever-evolving future. Author also examines the dual-edged nature of media and the internet in China. He portrays them as tools for both liberation and control. The chapter explores how the internet has transformed Chinese society, giving a voice to citizens and facilitating the exchange of ideas while being closely monitored by the government. And again, here we have some upsides and downsides. For the upsides, we have economic growth, civic engagement, and innovation in digital sphere. Now let's get to the limitations and challenges. Here we have the fact that government uses censorship to regulate online content. The spread of misinformation and extreme views also poses a significant challenge. And the last one is that online platforms amplify certain voices which can deepen societal divides. While critics often see the system as oppressive, he suggests that the Chinese government views it as necessary for maintaining order in the country with vast social and cultural diversity.
China is facing serious environmental challenges. It remains the largest emitter of carbon dioxide, and air and water pollution worsens public health. Air pollution causes millions of cases of respiratory diseases every year, especially in large cities where citizens' discontent reduces confidence in the government. These problems put a strain on the economy and healthcare system. In the international arena, China, in an effort to improve its image, has set goals: peak carbon dioxide emissions by 2030 and carbon neutrality by 2060. Active investment in renewable energy have made China a leader in installed solar and wind power plants, and subsidies in the electric vehicle sector have strengthened its position in the market. China's environmental transformation is linked to both internal challenges, including public health and social stability, and global commitments, making it an important element of government policy. The one-child policy introduced in 1979 has led to an aging population and a shrinking workforce. By 2022, more than 20% of China's population is over 60 years old, which increases the burden on the pension system and the economy. In 2015, China switched to a two-child policy, and in 2021 allowed the birth of up to 3 children, but the birth rate continues to decline. The main reasons are the high costs of raising children, expensive real estate, education, and changes in social values. Young people are postponing marriage, and women are increasingly choosing a career over motherhood. The government is introducing subsidies and benefits for families, but these measures have not yet led to significant changes. The demographic crisis threatens economic growth and social stability. The author notes that long-term and systematic reforms are required to solve this problem.
In the book, the author analyzes the question of the existence of a Chinese model of social political governance, and if it exists, which one. The key features of the Chinese approach are the first one, a responsible government. Government responsible for many aspects of citizen. In that case, the government is perceived as a parent protecting their children. The second one is internal discipline of the party. Historically, this is a continuation of the Chinese tradition of bureaucratic control. The supervisory authorities carefully monitor the effectiveness of the party and its members. The third one is diplomacy based on respect. Chinese is striving to build respect from partners around the world and receive due recognition from its colleagues. However, it is worth mentioning that at this stage of development, it is still impossible to say with certainty about the existence of the Chinese model. Formally, the Chinese model has not yet been formed, but it already has unique features that can affect the development of China and its relation with the world. Speaking of relation with the world, China's worldview. The most important thing to know about China's worldview is that Middle Kingdom emphasizing domestic stability before international engagement. Many mistakenly believe that China sees the world as a field for conquest and domination. That is why it is actively spreading this economic influence. But this is fundamentally wrong. The principle of homework first suggests that resolving domestic issues is crucial before addressing international matters. Instability in China could have global consequences. China seeks international recognition and respect, not territorial or ideological expansion.